let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I've been with you, when you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Love that.
That's so good.
Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive new show with Let's Be S3. I am your host, Marlon, along with Anna, along with Theas. And on today's show, we're just going to run through the first two topics because I really don't think there's anything we can say that we haven't already talked about. The Hamas leader of Hamas was killed this past week. Along with there was a drone strike onto Netanyahu's home in Israel. We're just going to breeze through that. We're going to then go into a bigger discussion about the threats against the FEMA workers and what pertains to all that, and then get into the numbers of early voting. The second hour, we have Am I the A-hole, which we've had this subject before. I just never thought it would ever come up again, but here we are. We have a real or not, in which I can tell you now, Foxy said it's possible. I said it's a nah. A Mafia video of the week chosen by Theas himself. And of course, Foxy's video of the week.
4 years and I got one in.
Right on.
It's the first one I ever suggested.
Oh, it took you 4 years.
Well, first Mafia video of the week. You have suggested other videos we've done.
No.
Yes, you have. Yeah, you have.
Really?
There was in the beginning of the show, not like Mafia video, but
so like the serious topics.
Yes. You have suggested videos that we would talk over.
He never gave us Mafia videos or Am I the A? He definitely never gonna give us no Am I the A-hole or stuff like that, because
right,
that ain't his thing. Anyway, how's everything going, Anna?
Going great. I slept in today, had lovely time with my nephew and my brother, and now I'm here with y'all.
Yes?
What did I do today?
Hmm.
I fixed the air pressure in my tires.
Good stuff.
I was gonna change my headlight bulbs, but don't feel like it. Someone pay somebody else to do it. And I folded some laundry.
Nice.
Yeah, and I watched one of my favorite cartoons all time, Word Girl. I love that cartoon. If you guys don't know Word Girl, it is a PBS Kids cartoon, and it's about a superhero crime fighter who one of her greatest talents is her expansive vocabulary. So she teaches you new words every episode. And it's so cool. You got Chuck, the sandwich making guy. His head is a sandwich, and you got it's this guy who's like Professor Rat Brain or something like that, and Mouse Brain. I think I don't know. He's got a brain of a mouse attached to his head, so he's obsessed with cheese. It's just great show. Great show. It's on Amazon. If you got Amazon Prime, ask for Word Girl. It'll take you there. You'll be hooked.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see. Welcome everybody, or welcome back. We are getting a ton of viewership, not only during the show but afterwards. So I appreciate everybody for giving us your time. You could be doing anything else, but you are either watching us or even putting us in the background and listening to us. Either way, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Did either of y'all see earlier today? Trump, as a political stunt, worked at McDonald's at the station where they cooked the fries. It was hilarious, but kind of funny. Yeah.
Buddy came to McDonald's in a suit, y'all. He took the jacket off, but he was in a suit, the same suit he's already. Gotta love it. He's a true man of the people.
I love the part where he gave the McDonald's food to the people at the window and went, "This is on me." What, $5? Dude, what?
Man, please, you ain't been to McDonald's. I don't eat at McDonald's personally. I don't like their food, but it's easily $12 now. Like anywhere else, it is ridiculous.
Wow,
they're giving you plastic food. But anyway, I'm sorry, they're not. Allegedly, they're giving plastic food. Don't sue me, McDonald's. But he said he was gonna do it, and he did it. And I'm pretty sure as people, everything with Trump is staged. So guarantee you, these were not random people placing an order.
Yeah.
I know this is going to sound like an insult. It really isn't. Facts are facts. To me, the facts to me is the facts to me. I would not eat anything served by Trump. Trump just comes off as that person like, I ain't got to wash my hands because I'm perfect. I just do not trust Trump at all when it comes to that type of service.
Bro,
no,
I used to work fast food. Trump probably one of the better options of who gives you your food out their window. You know, so you roll the dice anytime, you know. So I don't know. I
don't do fast food.
And they got cameras on him, so he might feel like and plus he's a neat freak, you know. He's a neat freak who has unprotected intercourse with professional adult actresses, but he's a neat freak.
No,
those little bitty hands are probably washed and ready. Little hands, little hands.
Not gonna happen. Let's get this party started. Trump working at McDonald's was not on anybody's bingo card for 2024.
You know what though? McDonald's
Volunteering, even.
American cuisine, okay? It's the American enterprise, whatever. How is it? Okay, McDonald's came around, I think, in like 1950 something. In 70 years, we still don't have spicy nuggets. I'm just saying. It's the only thing I can eat that they sell that doesn't make me nauseous is their chicken nuggets, which I don't know. They say they're real chicken, so I'm going to go with it as real chicken. But they should have some spicy nuggets by now.
I thought at one time they did.
Spicy barbecue sauce.
Okay.
They had a habanero barbecue sauce at one point.
Oh, wow.
It was okay.
All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get into it. I'll take your word for it. Let's go ahead and get into it.
This is the serious day. We're having serious dialogue about a serious thing.
You couldn't make McDonald's nuggets a serious topic.
Sure you can. Because it is because they're able to manufacture these chicken nuggets at such a low price that they are able to keep so many people employed. And that is helping the American economy and the global economy because they're all around the world selling nuggets. I just want to know why they're not spicy.
Hamas leadership told this week. The leader of Hamas was killed this week. Let's go in depth with who he is and what happened.
Israeli Army Radio has announced that Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar was killed in Gaza. Yahya Sinwar was reportedly found dead above ground in Rafah. Sinwar is reported to have been in combat gear when he was killed. To many, his name became synonymous with Palestinian resistance to Israeli occupation. Sinwar was seen as the architect of the 7th of October attack against Israel and is considered public enemy number 1 in Israel. If the conditions surrounding his death are true, it implies that Sinwar was killed in a military encounter while being accompanied by a few guards, still involved and directing combat operations and not underground surrounded by Israeli hostages, as has been regularly suggested by Israeli spokespersons. He was appointed as leader of Hamas following the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh in July this year in Tehran. Before becoming head of the movement, he was Hamas's leader in Gaza. Sinwar was born in Khan Yunis refugee camp in southern Gaza in 1962. His parents were forcibly displaced by Israel from their home in Ashkelon during the 1948 Nakba. Sinwar was the founder of Hamas's internal security bodies and was jailed by Israel for 23 years over his alleged role in prosecuting Palestinians suspected of collaborating with the Israeli army. Whilst he was in jail, Sinwar learnt Hebrew and frequently read Israeli newspapers, which helped him understand Israeli affairs and domestic politics. He was often referred to as the man Israel regrets releasing, after his release in a prisoner exchange deal in 2011, in exchange for Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit, who was captured by Hamas. Following his release, Sinwar quickly rose through Hamas's leadership ranks. In 2012, he was elected to Hamas's political bureau and was tasked with coordinating with the Qassam brigades in Gaza. He was known to be a stern, unwavering individual who before the war would occasionally appear in public and talk at rallies and press conferences in Gaza. He was heavily involved both politically and militarily in Hamas's efforts in its 7-week war with Israel in 2014. Months after that war, the US added Sinwar to a list labeling him a specially designated global terrorist. In 2017, he became the head of Hamas in Gaza, a role he would hold up until this year. In 2021, he gave his last interview with English media, Vice News, where he said while Palestinians do not seek war due to its high cost, they will not wave the white flag.
ماذا نستطيع أن نفعل؟ هل نرفع الراية البيضاء؟ نحن لن نرفع الراية البيضاء. هل مطلوب منا أمام العالم أن نقتل وأن نكون الضحية الطيبة حسنة الأخلاق التي تقتل دون أن يرتفع لها صوت؟ هذا غير ممكن بالمطلق.
Killing Sinwar has been one of the key goals in Israel's war and campaign to destroy Hamas in Gaza since October the 7th last year. Israel has killed many of Hamas's senior leadership over the decades, but the movement continued, raising the question of what these assassinations achieved.
So, all right, I know you're not supposed to do these things, but I'm like, listen to a small piece of this man's bio. his parents were forcibly kicked off of their land by the occupying force of Israel. He was born in a refugee camp and grew up in a refugee camp.
Yep.
Right or wrong, what type of personality or feeling do you expect from that? Right? It's so annoying or irksome because I can't help but look at this because I don't spend a lot of time dealing with the Israeli-Gaza war per se because it's not my war. You know, not to sound too callous about it, it's not my war, right? I'm in America. So I can't help but draw some of the distinctions, though, right? The parallels are sitting right there. The indigenous people of America were labeled as savages, and they were called savages, which is just terrorists in current vernacular.
Right.
And they were dehumanized for daring to oppose someone taking their land and murdering their families. And they were labeled as savages so that they could be exterminated and brought under control. The Africans in America, similar story. We went through a 300-year, well, not 300, 400 and 200 and some odd year Holocaust in America. We're not supposed to use the word Holocaust because apparently it's trademarked, but that's what it was here in America. And the questions always asked about why we're angry and things like that. Because to the oppressive force, to the dominating culture, any resistance is a problem. And the similar dynamic is happening right there in Israel right now with what they're doing to the people in Gaza. Gaza has been, they will not allow them to have their own country or state, which means they can't be recognized by the global community, which means they can't get a forum in the United Nations, which America holds veto power over anyway, right? It's all there. And I listen to it and I'm like, yo, there's very little excuse for terrorism, okay? But terrorism is a term that we apply to those who attack our interests. When we attack someone else's interests, it's special operations, okay? When Israel attacked Gaza, they were doing a special operation. When Russia attacked Ukraine, it was a special operation. It's only terrorism when the smaller force fights back. And it's just so disgusting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they killed this man. All right, whatever. He knew what he was in for. But it's like the resistance is always labeled this way. And for those who are trying to do it, I'm not sitting here trying to take the side of Hamas. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is when you decide to take certain types of actions, one of the consequences can be resistance. And when that resistance arises, is not trying to play your little political games, because your political games only work for you because you're in power. See, like when I get to talk in the past, when I used to have some debates with various, white people who had a different view of history, and we would be coming at it from completely different positions because they're coming from a position of privilege where it's all an intellectual exercise. Right? But we'll just talk it out. Well, violence is never the answer. And I'm like, violence is never the answer when you are the one who controls the tempo. But soon as that dynamic shifts, violence is the first thing we reach for. Right? The Jan 6th, violence.
Yep.
Boston Tea Party that they seem to love so much, violence. Revolutionary War, violence. World War I and II, violence. They attacked us on September 11th. What happened? Violence. Right? So it's like, it's so frustrating when the reality is, it's like, guys, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be clean. But you need to get these people the ability to have their own land, the ability for them to look to who they want to look to for security. And I think, and I'm gonna shut up here, I think one of the main reasons Israel and the Western powers, because don't put it all on Israel and the Western powers don't want to let Gaza have its own nation, is because they know the people of Palestine are not going to turn to the West, because the West has been who's given them the most heartache. So that means Iran. And that's what it's all about. It's not even about these people. It's about, we can't let Iran have something. Just like with Cuba, we punished Cuba for 60 years now. And we're doing that because we can't let Russia have something. It's like a chess game. It's sickening. I'm done.
And the chess game just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And it's no thanks to Israel's bloodlust. They're going into Lebanon. It's now they're planning an attack on Iran. It's insane. And here we are still supplying a whole bunch of weapons. Like 80% of the bombs being dropped on Lebanon, there are bombs.
You know what's crazy about that, Anna? It's not even about the weapons per se. It's like we're even worse than that. We're even worse than the arms dealer, because we're the big brother. So Israel's the little brother who runs around picking on everybody and fighting everybody. And everybody has to be careful how they respond back to Israel because of the big brother. See what I'm saying? So like they're handcuffed even in how they fight back, because they know there's a bigger force that will step in and make it all bad, right? It's
all the imperialist nations are their big brothers.
Yeah.
And you're right. That is exactly where this line is drawn. Are you an imperialist, or are you one of the oppressed?
Exactly, Parker.
What's he saying? Sorry.
It said Hades was punished for overthrowing the French and freeing themselves from slavery. They had to pay reparations over several generations back to France. And the similarity to it, to slavery in America, the similarity to it, when people say reparations was never paid in the United States after slavery. Yes, it was, to the slave owners.
Sure.
So
but it's the
so
nature.
backward.
It is, and I'm not, and I know, because I'm not as vitriolic as I used to be, but it's still the same points I'm raising here. It is how the European culture is and how it applies power, how it employs power. That's why you'll see this all over the world, because the same 3 or 4 nations, England, France, Belgium, Spain, and America, they did the same thing. And so it's the same playbook all around the world. So we keep seeing it, right? With the point Parker raised about Haiti, Haiti has had to repel like every European major nation, including America, for the audacity of daring to fight for their freedom. So when I was listening to that part in the clip Marlon did, and it stung. It stung for a different reason, though. It stung because I listened to this man who said, and I'm just going by what he was saying, not his whole background. So miss me on that. But part of what he was saying is born into oppression, born into apartheid, always having the boot on your neck of an external force. You fight back the way you can, and even though you know you will lose each battle and the cost is higher than it should ever be, you must still fight. And I look at that and I say, you know what? That is what the Native Americans did. That is what the Haitians did. That is what Ukraine is doing. You know, but the enslaved Africans, we took a different track. We fought resistance campaigns, but as a whole, we have not fought back the way the European American expected us to. So we've been getting the oppression and the abuse because of the fear of when the reprisal would come, even though we are a manufactured group that the fight was literally ripped out of us. So we have no interest. Like literally, if you watch our history, we never are fighting to take anything. Every time the African American fights back, it is literally to get you off of us. It is never to take anything from you. It is never to try to take over the country, take over the state, take over the city. Never. Every single time we fight back, it is get off me. Mm-hmm. That's it. No offensive efforts. And part of me wishes we did have that, because that is what America respects. They respect the threat, right? So that's what I got. Like out of that little piece, I was just listening to it, and I'm like, we are colonized in our mind, because the most devious thing that was done to the descendant of the African is we had to endure away from our homeland. That creates a whole different thought process, a whole different coping mechanism. Whereas the people of Gaza or Palestine, the indigenous Americans and all these different groups, they had to fight on their land. So they had something to fight for that superseded their physical lives, right? Whereas we were hostages trying to, fight for.
There was a Facebook post.
Sorry for
right after Trump lost the election. I don't know, even to this day, I don't know why it affects me the way it did. But the post was to the effect of, well, now the election is over. Can we now come together as a nation and be peaceful? And I thought to myself, I don't know how to take that. Are you telling me you knew that this country was divided clearly under Trump and now we need to come back? Or are you saying, well, now that the election is over, please don't retaliate?
They're saying that.
Because it's us radical lefties.
Yeah, because that's what Martin basically admonished America about. Like, you don't want peace, you want silence, right? Peace would be making amends and restoring the black man to his equality or decency. That's peace, right? But that kind of peace costs you something. That kind of peace costs you money. It costs you prestige and power. It costs you. So you don't want that kind of peace. You want the kind of peace where we find a way to be okay with our lot in life, right? You want us to just be like, well, at least we ain't in slavery no more, and then that's your peace. And if you watch America, and I'm sorry to narrow this down into just the black experience, but it's the one I know best. But that's where you can't kneel and not be attacked. You can't lay down and not be attacked. You can't run and not be attacked. You can't stand still and not be attacked. You can't fight back and not be attacked. You can't just take it and not be attacked. No matter what you do, you are not safe, and we will do whatever we want whenever we want, and you just have to learn how to adjust to it. And that has been the constant message. And I called it way back when they murdered Trayvon. This is the message. The message is you are not safe, and you owe what level of security that you have to us.
Mm.
Another weird tangent. This is one of the reasons why I didn't like the Black Panther movie. You know, a lot of people didn't catch some of the undertones to it, but the African American was never depicted in a positive light in that movie, not one time, ever. And when it came to who helped save Wakanda, the African American was the villain, and you found a random white guy to come in and be the hero.
Yeah.
So it was like great movie for entertainment value. Underlying
It's
messaging.
always
Like,
who is telling the story, is it not? Because just like we have, asked who the Black Panthers were.
no, not Black Panther, the organization. The movie Black Panther.
No, I know what you're saying. But I'm bringing it back to the comparison of the real world. In that if you come to this country and ask random people on the street, and if they are white, they most likely will get to a point of they are a violent party, a renegade party, terrorist. Yeah, let's just call the thing a thing. And that's exactly the same way that Israel will put the light on Hamas. You ask the people of Palestine, of Gaza and the West Bank, Hamas are the people that are bringing them food, like the Black Panthers, who are bringing them security, like the Black Panthers. So it greatly depends on who is writing the story as to who is the villain.
If you are willing
Always.
to oppose power, you will be labeled as the subversive, right?
Yep.
To live as a hero is to die as a villain, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Black Panther Party, quick synopsis, folks out there. These were young people who were tired of watching other Black people being abused by the police. So they banded together, they learned the law, they taught the law, and they observed police interactions following the law, right? And they established local clinics and food kitchens and education programs and all of that. Well, when you are the, what you call it, when you're the law, so to speak, you are normative. These people are considered subversive because one of the last things America wants, because pay attention right now, they're attacking education and knowledge, right? So one of the last things you want is for the subjugated to become educated, right? That's why they kept the slaves from learning. That's why they kept the slaves from congregating, right? You need to have an uneducated population so that you can manipulate them better. One of the reasons why somebody says he loves the poorly educated, right? Because they're easier to manipulate. I can play with you with emotions so long as I can keep that information out your head, Yep. So that's how the Black Panther Party got, the negative image, right? And then the FBI got involved, and there you go.
The biggest renegade party of them all.
All right, everybody, let's move on to the next story. We have had reports of threats against FEMA workers in North Carolina, to the point where they literally send out word to evacuate FEMA workers out of the area. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Reason I'm picking this story is because when I heard it, I was confused as to why. But now I have a theory, and it didn't work. So let's go ahead and get into that story.
This morning, growing safety fears for government workers in western North Carolina, supporting ongoing recovery efforts from Hurricane Helene. According to the Washington Post, an urgent message was sent to numerous federal agencies on Saturday, warning FEMA has advised all federal responders in Rutherford County, North Carolina, to stand down and evacuate the county immediately, adding that National Guard troops had come across trucks of armed militia, saying they were out hunting FEMA. NBC News has not seen the email cited by the Post, and it's unclear whether the threat mentioned was seen as credible. North Carolina Republican Congressman Chuck Edwards addressing the reported threats on MSNBC.
We had 2 counties with folks reported with different militia groups attacking and threatening FEMA.
In a statement to NBC News, FEMA writing in part, for the safety of our dedicated staff and disaster survivors we are helping, FEMA has made some operational adjustments. According to the agency, disaster recovery centers remained open, but at least 2 counties said FEMA staff would not appear at other planned locations Sunday, with officials in Ashe County saying the agency had paused their process as a precaution as they are assessing the threats. That included a temporary halt on accepting some aid applications. The heightened tension with FEMA's response to Helene has been fueled in recent days by misinformation, amplified in part by former President Trump.
Kamala spent all her FEMA money, billions of dollars, on housing for illegal migrants.
The head of FEMA calling those claims categorically false and promising that the agency's work will not stop.
It doesn't deter us. We know what our mission is.
Asheville business owners like William Disson say it's a distraction and that more help is needed.
I want folks to know that the government is here, they're helping. I know we'd all like it to be a little faster, but also realizing that the devastation is just so vast and so immense that, it's going to take time.
And getting access to clean running water in the area is still a priority, with tens of thousands of residents in western North Carolina still having no access to it. Meanwhile, FEMA says that they will be back at those affected locations that happened over the weekend due to those reported threats.
Now, here's my theory.
Okay.
And you got to keep in mind for the uneducated, that's the lower tier people that doing the threats and so-called attacks, which there, to my surprise, there haven't been any report of an attack. There's been a lot of threats, though.
Okay.
But I couldn't figure out why this was. What is the goal for doing this? It doesn't make any sense. And I know we're so used to hearing people voted against their own interests or whatever against their own interests. So, but if you're in a neighborhood, a town, a city with no running water, no electricity, no roof over your head in some areas and everything else, why would you be doing this? And I'm talking about the upper tier now, the people who really are going to benefit for even starting this crap. This is the first hour. For even starting this crap. What are you going to benefit from this? I just don't understand. Then it hit me. What also would stop being fixed, would stop being worked on, would stop people from doing if FEMA is not there? Voting. It has historically chosen, it has been historically shown in the United States that low voting count actually produces more Republicans. Higher voting count produce Democrats. My theory, strange as it is that you're trying to stop voters from going to vote. Either be more interested in, hey, I ain't the smartest person in the world. I ain't gonna lie. But
no, I get what you
theory is. If we can lower, we can slow down. I ain't gonna say stop. That's crazy. But at least slow down early vote. At least push it towards.
Here's why I say a couple quick things just to kind of why I would think what you're saying would make sense in other contexts, but not in this one, right? The area of North Carolina that was most brutally affected is like out of the way areas. Those are red voting areas, right? So that wouldn't follow. But what I think, my what you call it, thought on it, I don't know. My theory of it would be the Republican Party that is now MAGA. Now, this has always been part of the Republican thing because they want the small government thing, but MAGA is a special kind of thing. They want to feed a distrust in the government. So,
yes,
they capitalize on chaos and confusion because when you are hungry, exposed, and scared, logic is not what's going to keep you alive, right? Emotion and instinct is what keeps you alive. And the Republicans have done a masterful job for the last 40 years, and then especially in the last 10, of making people stay as much in their emotional state as they possibly can. So what they do is they say FEMA doesn't have any money because that'll justify why we don't need FEMA. Or FEMA's giving money to the immigrants. Well, that justifies your bigotry and your racism. They're just feeding that, right? And the great thing about it is by feeding it directly into the nerve center in North Carolina, the sympathetic people around the country are getting the same message. They're not paying attention to the facts, right? Facts, unfortunately, just don't hold a lot of weight for these people. You know, it's sick. It's sick. But if you're fighting a war, which is where I keep coming back to in so many of our discussions, if you're fighting a war, this makes good strategic sense. All right, this is what America does when it goes to war, right? America will shut off your ability to feed yourself and protect yourself, and then turn around and say it's because of these warlords. These warlords are why you got all these problems. It's not because I blew up your house, right? I blew your house up because I was trying to get to the one bad guy. But these guys over here, right? It's that mental thing. This is where, what's that dude's name? The criminal military guy. He got what's the word for the, you know, when you do something wrong and the president can let you off? Pardon. General Flynn is very well integrated into the MAGA movement and the Trump campaign, and his specialty is psyops. Like, he's really good at this stuff. So that's where I would lean more towards. It's keeping the energy up and keeping the anger up, because honestly, they don't care if they vote, right? they don't care, right? And in early voting, Republicans don't traditionally do early voting, so they're not overly worried about that either. That's my take.
Right, I can see where you came to that conclusion for the top echelon of Republicans, that, hey, this might even push chaos out to the election and give us more of a cover when we are going to challenge many, many states. But a lot of the misinformation coming from them then gets average people incensed, and average people who, yes, are uneducated, do not know where the money comes from for FEMA, for example. They didn't go to their representatives to talk about why isn't there more money allotted for this. It was automatically, no, this was taken by Kamala and her people. So it's just, You know, you're right. Yeah, they do love the uneducated. They're easy to manipulate. There was a story that Bell was talking about from Beau of the Fifth Column, where this guy called up a FEMA site, and well, actually, he didn't call up the site. There was a post that was like, "We the people want to see this rectified, and we will take all the goods from FEMA, and we will make sure that things that aren't getting there get there." When he gets to the actual site and sees with his own eyes what is going on, the devastation that was laid out, he then went and volunteered until the police came. But, you know, at least he spent some time volunteering. But her point was, it was chef's kiss, because what if those people who had funneled all that misinformation out had actually funneled out information about how to help your neighbor? How to... Oh, I know for sure. But it would benefit the people.
Yeah, the people
who are in danger.
And it's like they don't care about the people. And that's the funny thing about it. It's like the very people that need the help cling harder to the people trying to hurt them. This is one of the reasons why you got cats like me who don't do so well with European Americans on a grand scale, because I got work to do within my community to get us stronger, to learn how to live and rely on each other again. And then we can re-engage, right? But we as a community are so attached to our historical adversaries. Like, you got really good people, and that's wonderful. Work with good people and you meet good people. But understand, we are in a war. This is a fight. And I'm looking at this mess going on with these people who need help. They need help. But you know what? They needed help before this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you keep turning to the people who want to hurt you, but they say the things that are sweet to you. Like, I don't know, this is previous debates that we've had, but I was talking about, like, people will take candy sweet words over the dry hard facts.
I think maybe the reason the militias would make these threats is that if FEMA has to pause their operations, they can turn around and be like, see, the Democrats ain't providing us with the aids we need.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Good point, Parker. Very good point. Let's go ahead and get into the two videos. I'm going to play them. Excuse me. I'm going to play them back to back because they're typically on the same subject, but it's just two different states. But it's the same thing, and I'm just going to play them back to back. First, we're going to start with early voting in Georgia.
Early voting is underway for the 2024 presidential and local elections, and local voters took to the polls on Saturday. Our photojournalist Ricky Jones talked to voters who are excited to cast their ballots early.
The general election is just 2 weeks away, but many Augusta voters are taking the opportunity to vote early.
I've always waited until Election Day, but I said today, I didn't know if they were going to be open on Saturday, but when I found out, I said I'm going to do it today, and I'm glad I did it.
4 locations across Augusta-Richmond County are open for early voting. The Municipal Building downtown, the Senior Center at Henry Brigham Community Center, Warren Road Community Center, and Diamond Lakes Community Center.
Having the opportunity to vote on Saturday opens it up for a lot of people who do work Monday through Friday like myself. It's important to our community that we have a place like this that's open on Saturdays, that's in our neighborhoods, and it shows our young people that regardless of school, jobs, you can still come and vote.
With so much national attention on this year's presidential election, some voters are concerned with down-ballot voting as well.
We have a lot riding locally. And I think that people have to understand that we have to start voting all the way down the ballot to make sure that we are impacted how we need to be impacted.
For early voters in Richmond County, the message is clear.
If you want change, then you're going to have to be about the change. Be about the change. And so I'm just really, really excited about doing it today.
Early voting will resume on Monday. For more information on early voting times and locations, visit our website, WJBF.com. In Augusta, Ricky Jones Jr., WJBF News Channel 6.
All right, and now I'm going to go straight on into early voting in North Carolina.
2 days into early voting, and 500,000 people have already voted in swing state North Carolina, breaking early voting records.
I voted.
Many waiting in near freezing temperatures to have their voices heard.
Probably about close to 2 hours.
Although some residents are still living without basic necessities, the long lines of enthusiastic voters say this election is a top priority.
I've had family members that lost houses, some people are still without power, some people are still without water. So knowing the people that I know, they're still going to make it out here at some point. They'll get out here.
In the 25 counties hit by Hurricane Helene, only 4 early voting sites won't ever open due to flooding.
When a disaster strikes, we don't stop elections. We figure out how to proceed.
All voting sites have power, but not all have water. FEMA, the North Carolina Department of Emergency Management, and the North Carolina National Guard are working to get internet service, portable restrooms, generators, and sturdy tents to serve as Election Day polling places where buildings were washed away by floodwaters.
One thing Helene did not take from Western North Carolina is the right to vote this important election.
Absentee ballots will play a major role in this election for Western North Carolinians. Within a week of the storm, the Board of Elections voted unanimously on emergency measures designed to help voters easily return their ballots.
Last year, election officials in North Carolina passed a voter ID law that requires voters to show their ID. Hurricane victims who lost their ID can fill out an exception form at the polls. In Nashville, I'm Dana Marie McNichol, Fox News.
The first video, I think I chose the wrong one because it had nothing to do with my point I was making. It is that North Carolina and Georgia broke their own record for early voting week, the first day.
Right,
first day. Yeah. The first day. Okay, the first day they broke their own record. Georgia. Sorry, Theus. Georgia, I wasn't shocked. I wasn't shocked for Georgia. North Carolina, I was clapping. I was like, okay, North Carolina. Now, me and Foxy go back and forth on this. Whatever. Please stop calling North Carolina a swing state. North Carolina voted 2 Democratic presidents in, Carter and Obama. 2.
It still could be a swing state, bro.
It could. Texas could be a swing state, bro.
Say what now?
Doesn't mean
No. I get what you're saying. No, you're right. You're right.
If the majority of your votes is Republican, you voted 2 out of 47. Okay, I'll go back to Washington. 2 out of 47 presidents.
But it's a stretch, but it can still happen because North Carolina did it for Obama, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that could indicate to you that North Carolinians can be mobilized for what they perceive to be a change election, right?
Change, yeah.
Right. So you have the Dobbs decision, which we'll see how well that manifests. I'm sorry, y'all. Anytime you tell me I got to rely on white women and they vote, I got to wait and see how it turns out, because a lot of times they end up coming home, right? So we'll have to see. But I think that that's definitely something that leans. Like, if there's one thing that can get a spouse to vote opposite to their other spouse, it's probably this one, right? So I think there's some hope there that could help with North Carolina. Then you have the fact that this is a historical election. You have a woman, a competent woman, right? But then it's North Carolina, like you said. So, North Carolina is like Georgia. All of North Carolina is not Charlotte. All of Georgia is not Atlanta, right? And a lot of times people focus on Atlanta like it's Georgia. No, right? Georgia, it's Georgia, Augusta, and Savannah. Those are the three places you can pretty much count on going blue. You don't know what's going to happen. Well, you generally know what's going to happen with the rest of the state. It's going to be red. Because one of the things I learned, and this is from I want to give credit to Leisha, but it could be someone else. So Georgia has like 133 counties. And growing up, I always knew, like, wow, that's stupid to have that many counties. I just figured it's because rich people like to have things in their own name. So there you go. But it's deeper than that. Having all of these counties wreaks havoc with the electoral college system, right? Yeah. And it just does horrible things with anything that is based on representative voting, right? So that's why we have so many. That's another reason why we have so many counties. So that's why you see Georgia always end up red. But every once in a while, you get that little pivot because Atlanta is so huge. We have more people in Metro Atlanta than we have in the whole rest of the state. So if we're talking like number of votes, that's how you get 2 Democratic senators, but you got Republican House members, right? I don't know North Carolina's structure too tight, but I do know it's very conservative as an entirety for the state. But there's been a lot of movement, bro. Like people, we don't know how much of a shift it's been, but a lot of people out of New York, they came down to North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, right? That's in Tennessee. Tennessee is very conservative. It ain't changing. But those other states got a lot of influx from northern states. So that could help us. That could help a little bit. We'll see, man. See.
Yeah, no, Charlotte. Well, that's Charlotte. You're right. Charlotte, North Carolina is not Charlotte, but I was going with your. We have a lot of people from the north, New York, coming down here, things like that. Yeah, they're coming down here to Charlotte. They're
but
not.
You have other places, don't you? You have like Raleigh.
Raleigh.
I'm saying it wrong. Sorry.
That's all right. Raleigh, Wake County.
Because you're like Georgia. There's like 3 spots. You know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's Charlotte, Raleigh, Asheville, Spartanburg, Greenville, Greensboro. I'm not Greensville. That's South Carolina. Greensboro. Those are the big.
So we'll see. We'll see how that part shakes out. We won't know.
Hold on. Trump is leading North Carolina.
I get so.
Oh, I didn't know.
I think you just froze.
Oh, sorry.
I probably froze.
Yeah.
Did I freeze?
Yeah, you
Okay.
froze for a second. I thought you would stop talking. Trump is leading in North Carolina, everywhere else. No. And the funny thing about it is, I saw today, neither one of them is actually leading anybody. And even if you was to tell the majority of everybody that's voting, it's still 50-49 Pence.
So even with that, first of all, in early vote totals, I've not seen anything that put Trump ahead. In fact, that's one of the reasons Trump is freaking out. But early voting is important, but it never tells the real story because you're missing a huge chunk, right? Who vote election day or right at the end of their early voting periods. So, and then you got your mail-in ballots and all that. So it's the major media just trying to keep it as a horse race because that keeps us tuned in. I don't think that the race is even remotely close on the popular end. The Electoral College is, as it always has been, the real game that's going on. And the polls, I don't trust the polls. And the main reason I don't trust the polls is because they can be played with way too easy, right? Like you get to control your sample sizes, you get to control where you're going, you get to control what type of questions you're asking, and you do all of that on the front end to impact how it comes out on the back end. So
Yeah.
that's why you get this 50-50 stuff all the time.
This isn't just a who are you voting for, and everybody checks off their choice. It's not.
Yeah.
Are college towns where UNC and Duke are blue areas? That is a good question, Parker.
Isn't UNC like Chapel Hill? I don't know.
Chapel Hill.
Mm.
That is a good question. Also, why you looking at up is Trump underperforms in polls. You're moving the goalpost, Tracy. Either he's leading
It is literally like watching the Fox ticker.
or now. So okay, but anyway, what's Chapel Hill? Oh, and by the way, when I say Raleigh, is actually Raleigh Durham. So apologize. I don't want to be. That's our capital, so I hate to beskirt the fine people of Raleigh Durham area, but
okay.
So it says that Chapel Hill is very much more liberal, mainly because of the student population. But I don't know how.
Usually, universities are more of a liberal area.
You have a
Usually,
lot more educated people surrounding the school.
Mm-hmm.
okay. So then I would also put Raleigh in that same category. Raleigh has a lot of colleges, especially black colleges in Raleigh.
HBCU.
So, yeah, they have a lot of historical black colleges in Raleigh. My daughter, bless her heart, went to Raleigh to go to historical black college and never came back. So
Durham.
In Durham.
So yeah.
That wasn't Durham. That was Durham.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how it all shakes out when the dust settles, so to speak. But I would just caution people, don't get caught up in the polls. Don't get caught up. I mean, don't even just do it because of this election. I encourage people to just remember what you've already experienced and learned and paid attention to. So the same games are played each election cycle, and you know it. So use that to inform how you process new information, right? We simply just do not know, right? What we do know is that the Republican Party is what it is, right? You can't out-reason these people, especially at this stage. We're too close to the election. So you're not going to shame them by saying that they support a fascist. For those who even know what the word means, they agree, right? Stop pretending like these people are being fooled or duped. They are choosing what's important to them, right? The what happens to immigrants and the horrible language that Trump and his people are using against them, these voters agree. They want it. You can't say, like, I've used trying to give the imagery of what a roundup would entail, and to people like us, it's revolting. But to them,
it's patriotic.
It's great. They want the pain. They want the chaos. They're not thinking about after the fact when your food ain't getting to you and now the prices go up, and they're not worrying about any of that stuff, right? So you're not going to get across any of these people. And personal gripe of my own: pay attention to the people who are giving you commentary. If everything they say is anti or just a complaint or a criticism, why are you listening to them? Like, for real, there's nothing good. There's nothing good. You're telling me nothing good in life. Okay. Or all you give me are what's wrong. You can't give me any ideas of how things can get better or will get better. All you can just say is how bad something is. Why are you listening to these people?
Because they speak to my pain.
No, it's one of those things that I have said in the past, and I'm not picking on Theus when I say this, but Theus will get it. It's the same thing when I always say it is amazing to me when there's good news, something sweet, something wholesome, and it is more of either that's not reality or that's a once in a blue moon and that ain't that big a deal. And yeah, also my favorite, yeah, but because they have to take that same good story and it got to be some reason why it's bad compared to the bad story where it's more realistic. It happens more often. That's the way it is. You need to be sticking to reality.
Yeah.
No, it's you.
There's a
People
difference,
just
bro.
love misery, and they make misery more of a reality in their world than anything good. And
I agree with that.
When you give them something good, it's like that don't happen too often. Yes, it do.
There's now, first of all, there's nothing wrong.
That's why I'm getting on you. I mean, not getting on you, but that's why I'll piggyback it off.
Yeah, I get it.
When I say people who looks at bad, people who just give you bad, negative things, because that's what they're feeding themselves each and every day.
Well, yeah.
Bad and negative things. So
you will find what you look for.
Yeah.
Right. You will find more of whatever it is that you look for. That's just how our brains are wired. I'm going to push back a little bit because because my point kind of gets lost. I'm talking about balance, right?
Yeah.
So looking at something and acknowledging where things are negative or the darker side of things, that's fine if you also have another side of you that is able to focus on how do we improve that thing? How do we build from that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a distinction also of situational, like big situational to individual events, right? So the FEMA thing, if you focus just on the individual thing, then as an individual, I need help. I don't know where to get help. And the sources that I trust are telling me there's no help coming. So I start absorbing more information to reinforce that no help's coming, because at least then I don't get my hopes up, right? That's like that individual thing. But you bring it out further, then it's more like, okay, there is FEMA exists. What is it that FEMA actually can do and can't do? And what are they currently doing, right? And that doesn't eliminate the fact that on an individual level, I'm not getting my needs met, but
right.
It does speak to there are needs being met and there are things being done, right? So I like when people come with a little bit of that balance piece versus all woe is me, right? It's eventually the pity party gets old.
Yeah. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and roll on into the second hour. Sorry that I had to get off camera. I am like burning up over here. Like it's hot. And my room happens for some reason since day one of moving in here, since day one of making this my studio / man cave. My room is consistently the hottest room in the house. I don't know why. I'm not over the heater. No, period. I could be sitting in my chair right now, be sweating the same way. It just always seems to always be the hottest room in this house. I just don't know why. So I had to turn the fan on. But
before you pivot to the next hour, because this is like our opportunity for being serious, and I hate to let the serious part go.
Yeah, no rush.
So while we're talking about like FEMA, everything with Trump. Okay, whatever. Everything with Trump is mostly projection, right? So notice one of his claims is that Harris, first of all, she's a vice president. How much authority did Pence have as vice president? So stop it. It is Biden's presidency. Harris is a vice president. That's why she can do all these campaign stops and all this rallying, because vice president doesn't do anything, right? Well, they don't do as much. Correction.
I was going to say.
They don't
do as much. They do more international stuff than anything domestically. All right.
Yeah.
But Trump keeps saying that FEMA is giving money to immigrants. First of all, yes, and FEMA does assist with the immigrant population because that's one of their mandates. It's part of their charter. But there's a separate budget for that.
Yep.
People oftentimes forget, or they just choose not to acknowledge, that it was Donald Trump that took money from FEMA's disaster response budget and redirected it to Immigration Customs Enforcement. He sent that money to ICE. That was him. Okay.
Yep.
Biden didn't do that. So it's like all of this transference, because it just feels better to be against somebody. And now I am going to say something about the comment. So Tracy, one of the reasons why I dismissed what you were saying, I know Marlon, whatever, but one of the reasons I dismissed what you were saying is because you keep saying that it's not like you support Trump. But if you go through any of your content, whether it be on Facebook or your videos, you don't make negative content about Trump. You make negative content about the Democrats. So that is why I was saying what I was saying. If you're going to be against both, be against both. Right? But whatever on that. That was just me responding to that part because I did dismiss it, and that was, not the best way to approach it. But now I'm done. You can go to your
okay. And Parker, will comment on what your statement is because I'm the only one up here who knows about wrestling. But he made a comment about Trump trying to get the wrestling voters, which I'm just so amazed at that.
Yeah, let's see how many of them show up that don't already vote anyway.
Got the Undertaker and Kane's endorsement, which, okay, you got two wrestlers who've been retired from the ring for years now endorsement.
Well, Kane is a mayor now.
Yeah.
Or a governor. He's a mayor or a governor.
Mayor of Knoxville.
Mayor? Okay.
And Batista, it says we're going to use wrestling as a talking point then Batista, who, if y'all don't know, he was a wrestler, but that was the one that was in all of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
He was the blue man, right?
He was the blue man, endorses Harris. So anyway, enough of that.
We're going to go ahead and get him. That was him.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and get on into the second hour with a Am I the A-hole, a really silly real or nah, a Mafia video of the week, and of course, Foxy video of the week. 3-minute break to reboot and refresh.
Hey, Marlon, before you hit the button, can I ask you a question? It's a wrestling question.
Yes. Shocking. Yes. And of course, he freezes.
Okay. Are we mixed?
Oh.
Am I?
Oh. Yeah,
okay. All right. I'm back now. All right.
Yeah, keep talking.
All right, I'm back now, right?
Yes.
Because you guys are moving now. Okay. John Cena.
Yep.
Why is it? Now, this is an assumption. I'm thinking that he stopped juicing or whatever he was doing to keep himself so big. Now that he's like just big, he's not like a monster big anymore. He looks so old. Have you seen him in his movies?
That's the guy that would do.
Yeah, you can't see me. How can I put this? It's not his muscles, so to speak, that makes him look older. It's his hair, because now he grows his hair out and it makes him look older. Surprisingly enough, when he came back on to at WrestleMania, this past WrestleMania, I agree with you, and I looked and went, why you look older than The Rock? And I know The Rock is older than you, so what's going on? But I'm like, oh, because you grew your hair out, which was really stupid because you got a bald-headed spot in the back of your head, so I don't have an understanding about that.
He looks like an oversized insurance agent. And I'm an insurance agent, so I ain't hating on the profession. I'm just saying that what he look like.
Oh, Also, Parker, I could give a rat's butt of anything Hogan says.
Yeah, Hogan is a racist.
I couldn't care less about anything that Hogan says ever from this point on. He is trash. He's been trash. He's just hitting it very well. He's just rich trash, but no.
I thought Hogan was older than 70, Tracy. I was like, I don't know. He's been around forever.
He has, but no. Ever since from Hogan Knows Best all the way down, all the way to present. I ain't gonna say all the way down, all the way to present. He is trash.
Tracy, you're right. He's 71 years old. I guess good money and whatever supplements that he's on helps him stay looking kind of young.
Yeah, Parker's came back. He's 71. Yeah. All right, let's get on out of here. 3-minute break to reboot and refresh, and we'll see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. The blood fill my wings, spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free. I always stay dreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Fill my wings, spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, higher to a bird. You, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free,
We are back, and without further, we have some of the silliest conversations in private. We are back, and without further ado, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy in all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BoreliaEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. Please do not forget to go to Thea's website, Our United Core, Communities Build Movement. And if you need to reach me, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. Not even going to go into Saturday and Sunday because we're taking this weekend off.
What hour is it, Marlon?
It is the Mama Heart Hour.
And it is the Mama Heart Hour, and thank you. Now, funny thing about it is, as much as we're taking next weekend off, I'm going to try to stay on schedule as much as I can, which makes November a really busy month. We'll be back the first weekend of November, but we will also be doing a special the following Tuesday, the 5th, for Mama Hart's birthday / election coverage. We'll be celebrating more Mama Hart than the coverage of the election, but funny thing about it, because we've already
there won't be much that night.
You won't know much about anything, but I can say it will kind of shape. I will be more interested in Senate runs, governorships, things like that. So I'll probably concentrate though that you ain't gonna know nothing about the presidency. I don't care what the numbers say right now. You can hoop and holler, make yourself happy, or you can threaten to jump out the window because your candidate ain't win. I don't care. You ain't gonna know jack squat about who's gonna be president until the end of that week, maybe even
unless
next.
It's a runaway election, which is in the cards.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
It's unlikely, but it's
I doubt it though. One more wrestling thing, but his cartoon was lit.
No,
the song was. I love the song. I love the theme song, but it had me thinking it was the 80s and all those cartoons was goofy. So now I went down the rabbit hole of what was the goofiest cartoon ever produced, and I came up with just one that should have never came on. And you crazy, and it's Hammer Time. That should have never been a cartoon.
I think Little Bill was probably worse than that.
But Bill, you talk about Bill Cosby, that was him trying to take a second bite of the apple, because remember, he was Fat Albert.
Yeah, but or the one with Damon Wayans cartoon with the dude with the special shoe.
Okay, so what do you think about the other one I was thinking about is because I actually like Miss Pac-Man. I like those.
Pac-Man was a good cartoon. I like that.
But the Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and
I forgot about that cartoon, but yeah, I enjoyed that one too.
What was the other?
I never got into Silverhawks. I know a lot of people like Silverhawks, but I didn't like Silverhawks.
Silverhawks to me was like G-Force. It was practically the same thing.
I did like the Centurions. I don't know if a lot of people remember them. They were pretty cool.
No.
And the cartoon for cops.
Keep forgetting how old Parker is. There was a Hogan cartoon.
Yeah,
excuse me. That was Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling. I just like the theme song. I thought the cartoon was just whatever.
Anna's like, man, whatever.
I told you when she got pumping, this is her way of keeping her awake, so she was like, I don't know these times. This is killing me. Then what was the third person? Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and who was the third person?
What was it, Bo Jackson? I don't know. Let me see. Michael.
Oh, Anna, you will not believe this. There was a Harlem Globetrotters cartoon.
It was called Pro Stars.
They're much more fun live.
It was Jordan, Gretzky, and
3 famous and popular professional athletes: Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and Bo Jackson.
Oh,
diddly!
Wow.
Because it makes sense. It's hockey, basketball, football.
Okay, hockey, basketball,
baseball in there somewhere. But I guess.
Yeah. Am I the a-hole?
Oh.
Sorry, Thiz, what was you saying?
I said, oh, wait, Bo Jackson was baseball, wasn't he? No, Bo was football.
Baseball and a running back.
He was both?
Then he got hurt as a running back and went straight into baseball.
Okay, and then Michael Jordan was baseball and basketball.
No, he wasn't baseball. No.
He was in baseball. It happened.
It
happened.
Wasn't
Just own it. It happened.
I'm not owning that. He shouldn't have owned that. No,
it happened, Marlon.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Absolutely not. There was only two players who actually succeeded very well in both football and baseball.
Prime time.
And Barry Sanders. That's it. Jordan was not one of them people.
Deion did it.
I said,
oh, I was
Sanders
speaking
and
when
Bo
you spoke.
Jackson.
Sorry.
Yeah. Michael Jordan was not one of them.
Yeah, he played baseball.
I don't care. He sucked at baseball.
1994.
I was 13 years old.
He played, what, D-League or some type of...
How dare you, sir? He was in the majors.
On what team in the majors?
Chicago Bulls. He made his debut with the Chicago White Sox.
He was in the major. Mm-hmm.
Did he play?
He played his first game at the major league level against the Rangers in Sarasota. Michael Jordan.
I don't care. It's only been two players. I'm sure it's a third one, but it's probably somewhere. Like I cannot remember his name at all, but it was
Strawberry. What did he do?
He played every major sport professionally, like football, basketball, and baseball. I just can't remember his name right now. Anyway, Am I the A-hole is going to reintroduce a topic that I thought was dead in the water, that will never come up again, and I don't know what the deal is, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, yet another potato story.
I just got back from a friend's wedding in Mexico. It was at a fancy all-inclusive resort. Everyone mostly did their own thing, with only a few group events planned, other than the wedding and reception, obviously. One of the group activities was dinner out at one of the restaurants that required a reservation. It was beautiful, and the service was fantastic. One hiccup. The best man did not want potatoes. He's not allergic to potatoes, potatoes didn't take out his parents in a dark alley, and he hasn't sworn to avenge them. As far as I know anyways. I speak Spanish, and after he asked me to talk to the waiter, I asked the waiter to please not serve him potatoes. Well, you know where this is going. He was maliciously served potatoes. And he would just not shut up about it. He pointed out to everyone at our table that he had been served a starchy tuber against his will. Other tables were watching him and listening to him getting upset about the potatoes. He ate the rest of his meal, but he would not drop the potatoes. I couldn't take it anymore. I reached over, grabbed the potatoes with my hand, and put them on my plate. Then I ate them. He just sat there, stunned. Then he got up and went to his suite. He avoided me the rest of the time there, but he made sure to tell everyone what a butthole I was and how unladylike my behavior was. I just wanted him to shut the F up about the potatoes. My friends want me to apologize for causing drama.
You were rude. You don't put your hands on somebody else's plate.
Well, yeah,
rude.
Yeah, that was rude.
True.
That was rude. I will give you an A-hole score. That was very rude. However, my alternative solution to it is no better, because I would be the person who would look over to you and go, shut the fuck up. Like, I can see you complain one time. It's a potato. Eat around it. I don't care. But I'd be damn you finna mess up my dinner talking about some damn potatoes.
Yeah, it's not like they put mayonnaise on it.
I would do good. Tracy come back. Jim Thorpe was who I was talking about. Yeah. That was the guy who played every sport and succeeded in every sport on a pro level.
Really?
Yeah. He was a one-of-a-kind player.
Never heard of him.
So he didn't like potatoes, huh?
No, I don't know what. Just shut up. It's potatoes, dude. But anyway, as
he was born in the 1800s.
As Diaz look up somebody brand new, real or nah?
Oh, you know he died in poverty?
A lot of people back there died in poverty. Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Good looking white guy. Big dude. This dude, wow, he could have been in movies. He might have been in movies for all I know. But I'm just saying.
You got to play it. You have to look up.
He was an Olympian. And come on, man. America,
you got to look up
better
the history of sports back in the late 40s, so to speak.
You were born in 1800s.
One, they didn't make a lot of money. Two, they be on the sideline smoking, just waiting for their turn to be on the field. It was just a wild time in football then. But you didn't get paid.
This man had 2 Olympic track and field medals.
Yeah.
Wow. America, you foul.
You got a point with that one?
No, that's all I got.
I'm going to think for a minute now. Anyway, let's get into this tradition. Is this real or nah, it's not real?
This year, I celebrated Christmas with my fiance's family for the first time. Before we went to my fiance's parents' house, my fiance warned me that his parents usually come short in the amount of food they cook for Christmas dinner, and that there's often not enough for everyone. What I didn't see coming, though, was to be expected to participate in their family's weird tradition. Apparently, they have a long-standing tradition where, instead of drawing straws, they'll throw all their underwear in a bin and then go take turns wearing a blindfold and drawing a pair of underwear from the pile. And drawing the smallest pair of underwear correlates to drawing the smallest straw. I had never heard of this tradition, so I felt blindsided when, right before Christmas dinner, my fiance's mom yelled out that it was time to pull the straws to decide the order of who got to plate up their food first in case there wasn't enough for everyone. At first, I thought that his family was joking when they announced this, so I laughed, which made my fiance get real defensive. I volunteered to get my food last so I wouldn't have to participate. But my fiance just got more annoyed and asked me to just try it to be more agreeable. The whole thing was just kind of weirding me out, so I called an Uber and went home. Now, things are real tense between me and my fiance, since he now says that I made a bad impression by acting like I was too good for their family traditions. Am I the butthole? All right, hold on. There's no way this is this bad. Let me see if OP's had a comment explaining the situation. He insists that it's very common and that all his friends did this with their families growing up too. That is a lie. It is not common unless they grew up in a cult. She says it's not that the smallest person doesn't get to eat, it's that that person who draws the smallest pair of underwear potentially doesn't get to eat. She says, apparently it's a long-standing tradition that whenever the family wants to pull straws to settle something, they all use their current underwear! Their current underwear? No!
Hell no. Hell no. Like he said. Yeah, we have. We heard this one before.
Okay. That's what I was going to say.
No. I ain't putting on nobody else's draws. No, we not doing our roll commando. We ain't doing this. We not doing this. And you said everybody grew up like this. Like the old boy said. That sounds like some cult stuff right there. You know, they need to get everybody together in
Drawing straws, I think, was
they
the thing.
need to do a genealogy test on all of them and find out that their family tree is a branch.
Straight up. Okay, here's why I thought it's not plausible. One, you stated them long, and I was on. This is an assumption, because it may not be. You dated this guy long enough that y'all got engaged, but this is the first time you're going over to Christmas. The first time. Number two, you think you're too good. Yeah, damn right. I think I'm too good for this. This is stupid. I'm not thinking about draws off to eat. Like, no, I didn't think I feel good. Look, and I'm pretty sure I'm thinking that this whole relationship is over with, so I can just go ahead and just tell you, your family weird. This is not common. I think you're out of your mind. I think your whole family is loony. And I don't want you to be in a family where I have to take my drawers off to make a good impression. That is not normal.
Now you gotta put on grandma's thong.
No, you just have to pick it out. You don't have to wear them.
But it's their current draws. Don't they switch the draws up?
No. They just pick the draws.
Bag. You put a blindfold on, and you get to pick out.
No, ew.
So what are you doing? Like grandpa, he got a little bit of incontinence. So now, everybody's picking around the depends because you can tell that they're heavier than the other draws.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder the pins count as draws.
They undergarments, they draw.
They better.
No.
Or you can't control when things happen. So now you didn't pick up somebody's period panties. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, it's just too many things that could go wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm not. No.
And then I ain't gonna go to that one.
Yeah, I just don't think it's real.
I don't think it's
real. I don't think it's real. And I'm sorry, I didn't know I played this before. But no, it's not real.
Okay.
Wayback Machine.
Wait. The thing is, I think it is real that lots of people would draw straws.
Yes.
No.
Yes, unfortunately.
What kind of family would have one person not get to eat
at the holidays? No, yeah.
Ever.
It's not a. I'm not trying to defend it. I can see this happening. I can see the almost cultish-like situation that some families, if their parents are okay with it and they normalize, okay, everybody put your pants in, your underwear in. Like I don't blame the kids. I blame the parents, and I'm actually going to say that because the underwear thing, usually it's straws, and it's a whole stupid tradition. Because,
and I'm just so amazed at how you acting like this is common in my neighborhood. All my friends, no, they would.
There's a lot of strange neighborhoods, I guess.
I guarantee you never told your friends y'all did this. I promise you didn't. You wouldn't have friends because they're all your friends. You should have told one friend so your friend can go, dude, you may need to go no contact with his family.
What if you live in a community where on the holidays they exchange draws, but on other days they exchange keys?
They're not just changing draws. They're not taking the draws out and putting them on.
Hey, if you picking through somebody's worn draws, right? It's the same. You can put your hands on somebody's dirty drawers. Okay, first, no.
And one last thing, just to make it just pinpoint accurate on how terrible this is. You picking out drawers that's still warm because you're taking them off and just really putting them. So
fresh out the dryer.
There's still body warmth to it. So, ooh, Mafia video of the week. So, Parker, if you still watching, you actually brought up earlier today what the Mafia video of the week is. And that is Trump at McDonald's.
They had they did not listen to Biden or Harris. Okay? So we're going to the next step. Well, I think these people work hard. They're great. And I just saw something in process. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. These are great franchises and produce a lot of jobs. And it's great. And great people working here too. Really, really good people. So yes, ma'am. Yeah. It's Kamala's birthday. He's 60 years old. Yes, I would say happy birthday, Kamala. She's turning 60. I think I'll get her some flowers. Maybe I'll get her some fries. I'll give her some McDonald's. I'll get her a McDonald's. No, it is her birthday. It is true, right? Happy birthday, Kamala. Happy birthday. See you later. Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Trump, thank you very much. Doing dumb shit. That's why people.
First, he said her name right.
Yeah.
Second, he's very good at being fake nice. And third, that whole McDonald's is blocked off. He ain't give nobody no food but some people that already work for him.
Trump, this is exactly what I thought, because I purposely put this video up because one is short and I can't take but snippets of Trump. And two, so I didn't see the video. But two, can y'all move the hell out of my way? My lunch ain't for so long. I need to get through this drive-through. Y'all got cameras and everything just blocking the way. Hey.
There
was
a very palpable lack of diversity in the media press corps that was standing outside that drive-through window. But I'm like, nah, you can't even get close to that McDonald's. The former president of the United States that has had two credible attempts on his life. One, I don't know. But two credible attempts on his life. Wasn't nobody even close to that McDonald's.
So you think everybody that was chosen to go through?
Absolutely. You heard when he did the town hall, they were MAGA voters. Like they chose his own voters to come up there. And when they don't choose their voters, like they did at Univision, you end up with a guy who's like, hey man, you're a criminal and you didn't do anything to stop September, Jan 6th. Well, why should I vote for you? But you don't want them kind of questions. So, no.
All right. Let us get back to normal Mafia video. Coming to work on your day off.
Hello? Hey, Faith, it's your manager. So, listen, Jackie actually quit on us today. And so I was just wondering what time you were coming in. What time I will be coming in? It's my day off. What does Jackie quitting have to do with me? Oh, well, you're always such a team player and always looking to pick up extra hours. So I guess I just assumed that you would come in and help us today. Right. Well, there's the first problem. You assumed. Yeah, it's my day off and I'm going to go ahead and take it. I have plans today anyway, so sorry. Man, that's too bad, I really admired your team leadership and was hoping to give you a team lead position, but, if you're just going to be like this, then I guess we'll have to reconsider somebody else. Guilt tripping me? Really? That's your angle? Oh, honey, I'm not trying to guilt trip you. What happened to you working 7 days a week? You've been doing that for months. Don't you need the money? Well, when I was working like that is because I needed a car, but I have the car now, so I don't need to be working and burning myself out that much. I'm actually able to take my days off and recuperate. Wow, see, you can't just pick up extra hours and come in on your days off just because you need money. If the team needs you, you're going to have to come in. Yeah, see, that's exactly what we do. We don't come in on our days off or pick up extra hours because we're a family and we want to help out the team. We do it because we need money. So if we don't need money, which I don't, I'm very stable right now, I'm going to go ahead and take my day off. Right, well, if you're not willing to come in, you might see your hours start cutting because honestly, We only want hardworking team members that realize that this is a family working here. So, okay, so now threatening me is your angle. Yeah, I really don't appreciate that. And so if that's the way that you're going to be, I can go ahead and go to HR and let them know that you're threatening to cut my hours because I refuse to come in on my days off. Have a good one.
Well, that was really long and drawn out. What the hell you on the phone that long for? And you spend all this time talking to me. Why don't you go pick up the phone or wherever it is that you think I usually do, and you go do that thing for me. Go ahead and do that. Be a team player. Yeah, be a team player. Go do that right there. You know.
Only thing that even bothers me about some of these videos, just off the bat, some of these just kind of bother me. Why you answer the phone?
Because your job calls you.
For what?
Because
it's my day off. You need to talk to me on my day off. Nothing.
If my job called me, I'm answering the phone because they don't usually call me. So why are you calling me? Because it could be an emergency, could be any number of things. And then I guess it also depends on the job you have. Because like my role, even though I'm not on call, I am on call, right? That kind of thing. But yeah, if I work at like Kroger, you know, and you call me, I might not answer the phone, but I probably would. Me being me, I'm gonna answer the phone, right? But then once you got me on the phone, we're not gonna spend all this time, right? It's going, hey, Theus, can you come in? Nah, I got other plans. Well, we really need. I can't come in.
I'm not in town.
You know?
Oh, also, I'm gonna tell y'all something else that y'all and Theus is gonna disagree, but whatever. When they say why, I ain't got to give you a reason why I'm not coming in on my day off. That's no concern with you. And the reason I'm saying this is because they're asking why, so they can determine is that a viable reason why you said no. And it's not up to them to decide if that's a viable reason. It is what it is. I'm not coming in.
I agree with you.
Hey, I'm sitting on the couch looking at TV all day and just relaxing. Well, can you do that? We just need you for 2 hours. No, you got to tell them.
That's an unprofessional manager. So managers should know. And now different companies have different cultures, but every company I've worked at, now granted, full disclosure, I pretty much have only worked for really, really big companies. But never ask you why. Ever. You know. Now they might be quiet for a second to see if you'll volunteer it. But no, they never ask why, because it's just it's putting the company in a position where they could be open to being saying they were discriminating or using any kind of coercion or something like that. And the company doesn't need that. They don't need you that bad. So, hey, I can't come in today. Okay, will you be in tomorrow? I don't know. Okay, well, let us know. Don't show up for 3 days and you're fired. So ain't no sweat off my nose.
Foxy's videos of the week. All right, Theus, I kept 2 of the videos from last night because I wanted your thought on them, and both are funny. So I just have one brand new one for the weekend. With what black people do when they're laughing.
That wood over there. Sweaty, bro. try for me, please, yeah?
Okay. All true. And I'm not 100% certain because I can't remember what the order was, but the first two, I think that's just what people do. Because I've known a lot of my white friends who the same way. Like, I haven't really seen them do the run thing. I haven't seen
Not
that.
the run. No.
But holding on to each other and hitting each other, yeah, that's guys for one thing. It's just,
that salad laugh thing.
And I'm pretty sure that was common too.
Yo, I've done it. Trust me, and
I've done all of those.
It hurts when I start breathing again because it's like, oh, you're not breathing. And
but I think those are all. Only one I would say is more cultural was the one where they took off running because I haven't seen other groups do it, but I wouldn't put it past anybody because I mean it's just acting out, right? You're just acting out because it's funny, But yeah.
You got anything, Anna? No. We may get that 10 o'clock. We may hit that 10 o'clock. 50 years from your point of view versus 50 years reality.
I like that.
All I can say is I got to give Granny some props because, one, she's got a decent rack on her, and two, she was having fun. You know what I'm saying? To be that age on the tabletop, right? And she ain't but barely holding on. It ain't like she's gripping for all dear life. She's having a good time. Go, Granny, go. Have a good time. Now, I don't understand how the black lady became a little bitty white lady, but it was because that was the time elapse. It's time elapse, Anna. It was like this is the young person working in the office, and then she's an old lady on top of a tabletop, shaking it loose. But yeah, man, if everybody could age that well, I'm all for it. I'm like, ain't nobody said you got to get old, sit in the corner, and wait for the world to end.
Right. Just keep it pushing.
One of my favorite ones is the grandmother with the coat that she figures out. She can bounce, and the ruffles or whatever it is of the coat, they bounce in time. She was having the most fun.
I haven't seen any of these types of videos. This is my first one.
Video.
Oh, okay. I'll tell it.
You gotta send it to me. It's us. All right, last video of the night. Anna doesn't like it, but I love it. Years ago, months ago, probably, maybe, but I think it's years ago. This has said women need to stop thinking they can do exactly what men can do.
This.
When it comes to men cheat too, so why is it a big deal? I cheat and all this other stuff and blah blah blah. When I had this video, this was the first thing you things popped in my head. When I got this video, it's like you can't do what men do, even when it's wrong. You just can't do what men do. So you can't do what men do.
Okay, so couple things, bringing it in. One, I have never been the kind of guy who goes around just farting. So I don't fart in the presence of my lady. And unless it slips out, she better not fart around me because it's gonna be, what the hell wrong with you? We need to get you some help. That's that one. But then broadening it out a little more, because that's just nasty. That video is just nasty. I'm sorry. She farts in minor bass and he was farting in mega bass. And it's just, I mean, they're probably perfect for each other. Two stinky people just farting it up. And I've known people who they fart with their partners and it's a funny thing. And that's great for them. Would never work for me. But I don't remember saying that women can't do what men do.
It was you when women was like, it was through infidelity, cheating, whatever.
Oh, yeah, because I would hope that the point I was making was that nobody should be cheating. You don't want to be there, leave. But I do think that in the some of the more current iterations of the dating scene, women started trying to act like men, like trying to play by our rules. That's a doomed venture, right? Like, if this is like broad, okay? But if your goal is to be in a meaningful, sustained relationship where you have safety, security, you're married and committed and raising your family, and if that is your picture, acting like a man who doesn't want those things ain't gonna get you those things. You know what I mean? Like, I think man or woman, you need to conduct yourself according to what it is that you think you want. You want to play? Play. You want to be serious? Be serious. But if you think that sleeping around is going to somehow even the score with a man who doesn't owe you a settled score, what you doing? If you want to sleep around because that's what you want to do, right? But don't turn around later and say that it's because of men. No, it's because you want to go and handle your business. Handle your business. Like, one thing, this is weird tangent, but anyway, like social media discussions that be happening all the time, where people are pretending to be so earnest about the things they're talking about, but they're really just talking out there behind. If you do unserious things, right? So like, you're always partying, you're always having sex with new people, and you're doing all those things, and that just becomes part of just your repertoire, so to speak. That's fine if you own it. What gets bad is after you've done all that, and then you want to settle down, and then you say that guys or girls are judging you based on your past. Yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't get to just do whatever you want to do and then turn around and be surprised when other people don't see it the same way that you see it. Go find the person that's okay with what you was doing and go. I always find that interesting. But anyway.
I always had an issue with just one, and you brought it up, Theus. Just own it. That's literally all I ask. If this is your thing, this is what you want to do, you chose to do it this way. I'm not cool with it, but I'm not cool with it because I'm Marlon. I'm not cool with it. But whatever. But just say, because this is how I am. And you won't do that because then people start, what? But just say that's what you want to do. But when you say, men do it, well, I was cheated on by a woman, so that's why I do it. Well, my friend's cousin's nephew, niece's aunt, baby mama got cheated on, so that's what. Like, stop doing this. If this is what you want to do, then go do it. But when you get called out on it, which, to be honest with you, don't. If it's none of your business, which then I'm going on all left field on it. When y'all act this way and then y'all put it on Facebook and then you get comments that you don't like and in any conversation on with mind your own business, I don't even know who you is. You put your business out on here. But I'm invested like a TV show. I'm on episode 23. I don't even know how the hell this is going to be. So stop saying mind your own business. You were the one that broadcast your business to begin with. You ain't get the response you wanted, but okay. Okay. But don't end anything out with mind your own business. I was until you broadcast it. And I literally mean Facebook is huge, so you literally broadcast it.
I mean, you're right. Where I'm a little different from a lot of people is I don't ever feel like I'm entitled to any of your information. So even if you shared 80% of your story, I don't feel entitled to the other 20.
I'm invested now.
I'm never that invested because it ain't my business.
I
only got as much business as you chose to share with me.
Good night, Foxy.
Night, Foxy.
Good night, guys.
All right, let's get on out of here. Anna, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me here. You can find me at Borrelia@Chester.com.
Theus.
You can find me here.
Project announcement. You know, next week is the last weekend of the month. We do not do any broadcasting the last weekend of the month, so we won't be here. But November is jam-packed. We'll be back the first weekend of November, which is the second or third, or the first or second. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But either way, we'll be doing a broadcast that weekend. And me and Anna and Mama Hart will be back election night, which is the 5th of November, to celebrate Mama Hart's birthday. And we'll dabble into seeing what's going on with the election thing. So, yeah.
And if you're voting Democratic, get out there, vote early, or check your dates to make sure if it's too late for you to get a mail-in ballot, then you need to go ahead and make plans to show up on election day. If you're voting red, don't bother. And if you're voting third party, don't bother. But if you're voting blue, go out there, cast your vote. Yeah, I'm biased. I have a desired outcome. Now, holler at me next time for the midterms. I'm going to have a whole different position because it's a different game. But right now,
the comment is split. The comments made on this show is not a representative of this show. Viewer discretion.
I said it's me. It's me. I'm biased. I want the Democratic ticket to win in this particular election.
But also keep in mind that we do have a special coming up right after the election. Don't say that because you like to spoil stuff by saying stuff. But we do have a plan on what we're going to do after the election. So y'all look out for that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ.
I appreciate Anna. I appreciate Theus. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
Vote blue because of those gold shoes.
What?
Vote blue because immigrants have rights too.
That's better than the gold shoes.